Hello, I'm Aslan and welcome to the Palit 1070 Jetstream's overclocking video. We already did a full review of the card, so if you missed it, we'll put a link here to go watch it now, or I'll also leave a link in the description below. We used MSI's Afterburner to overclock this card, and we've used plus 100% voltage, plus 112% power, plus 230 MHz on the core, and plus 600 MHz on the memory clock. Now the GPU core clock ranged anywhere from 2000 to 2114 MHz. However, it did manage to stay around 2100 MHz for most of the time. Leaving the fan control on auto kept the temperature under 70 degrees and the fan speed never spun above 50%. So it kept it very quiet and the case fans were louder than what the GPU noise was. Comparing these results to an overclocked 1070 Founders Edition, we found a lot of them were able to achieve a similar 230 MHz on the core and about plus 500 MHz at the most on the memory clock. However, they did not boost mostly up to 2100 MHz like ours did, and they mostly stayed around 2000 MHz. So that means we got about 100 MHz extra on the core and about 1 to 400 MHz extra on the memory. Now the specs of this card can't really compete with the GTX 1080, however we thought it would be a good idea to compare the overclocked benchmarks to a stock GTX 1080 just to see how close we can get and just to see how much it's worth paying the extra about £200. Here are the full gaming benchmarks. On average, we saw about a 15% improvement over the stock scores of this card, and it was only about 10% slower than the 1080. However, we can say that the 1070 is definitely a sweet spot where we can see a very good price to performance ratio, even if you want to go for a high-end build and you don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money. So it would probably be a better idea to go for the 1070 and overclock it rather than a 1080, as there are cards coming out later this year which might surpass a 1080 by a big margin. Comment below and let us know if you think the GTX 1070 is a more sensible option than a 1080 even if you had the money for it, or would you just go with the 1080 just for the insane horsepower. Please subscribe to get notifications of our future videos. We are planning many PC builds as well as different reviews of different products. And also please like the video if you found any of this useful or interesting at all. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.